We welcome everybody that's in the room and people that will be coming in and out, as well as our witness, the commissioner. Very important subject that we're going to talk with Commissioner McAleenan about. We thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. I and Senator Feinstein will have opening statements, and if Senator Cornyn and Durbin come, because they're chairman of the subcommittee, I'm going to give them a little bit of time to make comments as well. At the outset, I'd like to respectfully remind my colleagues that this hearing is about Customs and Border Protection Agency. This is absolutely not a general Homeland Security oversight hearing, and CBP is not the legislative body of the federal government. We in the Congress are. However, Customs and Border Protection is one of the premier federal law enforcement agencies. Its officers and agents are responsible for counterterrorism, counter-narcotics, border security, facilitating legitimate travel and trade, and processing both asylum seekers and unaccompanied alien children. All too often, the important work done by this agency's officers get lost in the current debate on immigration policy. Commissioner, when we met last week, I was pleased to hear how committed you are to securing our border, ensuring the safety of our Custom and Border Protection agents, as well as migrants and other travelers and the American people generally. Today's hearing is an opportunity for this committee to better understand the policies and actions of your agency. It's also an opportunity for you to explain to the American people the important role your agency plays in the day-to-day operations affecting our national security. Perhaps the timeliest issue before your agency is the ongoing conflict now at our Mexican border. We're also long overdue for aggressive increases in resources, technology, infrastructure, and personnel. For close to a decade now, we've seen record numbers of surges at the border. Fiscal year 18, over 396,000 individuals were apprehended at our southwest border, and 2 months into fiscal year 19, we've apprehended 102,000. This year alone, we've seen 3 separate instances of mass caravans making their way up to our country from the Northern Triangle. The most recent caravans, totaling around 10,000 people, have caught our attention for their propensity towards violence and aggression. Reports of hundreds of adult males throwing Molotov cocktails, rocks, and glass bottles at unarmed Mexican officials sends a message that the group marching towards America may not only be interested in peacefully seeking refuge and security. Every day, traffickers smuggle men, women, and children across our border, often subjecting them to physical and sexual assault while on the journey. Smugglers extort large sums of money from migrants and force them to pay debts even after they've arrived in the United States. Even now in my home state of Iowa, I've received allegations that unaccompanied alien children are subjected to labor trafficking and forced to work on farms. Smugglers have developed a lucrative business preying on vulnerable migrants. They use legal loopholes like the restrictions on detaining families to entice parents to entrust them with their young children who are subjected to a harsh and long journey to the border. The smugglers, in turn, pair the children with the strangers so that they can be released as a family unit when apprehended at our border. In August, I sent a letter to Secretary Nielsen about a 13-year-old Guatemalan girl entrusted to a smuggler by her mother, understanding that they would be released into the United States if they presented themselves at the border as a family unit. The smuggler paired the girl with an unrelated male who lied to the Customs Border Patrol agents and said he was her father. Only after both were admitted to a hospital in California did authorities learn the smuggler had repeatedly raped and abused the girl. I've raised similar concerns dating back to 2015. It's not just smugglers. Sophisticated cartels and transnational criminal organizations also exploit vulnerabilities at the border. Since fiscal year 12, our agents' Office of Field Operations and the U.S. Border Patrol intercepted roughly 14.7 million pounds of cocaine, heroin, marijuana, meth, and fentanyl. This includes a 384% increase in fentanyl seizures over the past 2 years. And in the past 4 fiscal years, Border Patrol arrested over 3,800 gang members, nearly half of which were MS-13. The culmination of perceived vulnerabilities at the border and in our immigration laws can be seen in the most recent caravans of over 10,000 people traveling from Honduras and Guatemala. So we need to be clear, those who organize this effort have taken advantage of the economic insecurity of these people, the majority of whom are doing no more than trying to seek a better life. We sympathize with these people, and we welcome those who wish to enter our country but do it legally. We are a nation of laws, and for the safety of all, there must be order. The American people are a generous people, but they have also made clear that they don't want open borders. Our job in Congress is not just to complain, but to propose sound policies. That's why Senator Lee and I have urged the administration to execute a safe third country agreement and do that with Mexico. That would allow asylum seekers to make their claims in the first country of arrival. Such an agreement would address concerns that I've raised about potential special interest aliens to mass themselves with en masse caravans. I'd add that this concern is one that we share with President Obama's own Homeland Security Secretary, Jay Johnson. A safe third-party agreement would also help address the desire of state of our asylum system. I said that wrong. A safe third country agreement would also help address the dire state of our asylum system. As you will well know and be aware of, our affirmative asylum backlog stands at about 320,000 cases, and our immigration asylum background is 348,000. And yet this is at a time when the CBP is processing record numbers of asylees. New numbers reported by the agency show 120% increase from fiscal 17 of asylum claims made at ports of entry alone. That doesn't account for the claims made between ports. So, Commissioner, I know you recently traveled to Guatemala to assess the situation. I hope you'll share what you learned there. Today, we will also discuss recent developments at the border and other reports involving the CBP. Senator Feinstein.